Welcome back to the second episode of Beyond the Boundaries podcast here in iCaptain Media. We have a special guest today, Mr. Mangesh Chaudhari, who is the owner and the executive director of Prairie View Cricket Complex in Houston, Texas. He has been a part of the organizing committee for Houston Open Cricket Tournament since 2019. He has made significant contributions in cricket in North America and also in the Caribbean. He also runs a franchise team in minor league cricket called Houston Hurricanes. He's also the co-owner of Lumbini All-Stars and Jonapur Bulls. Safe to say he's involved in a lot of different sectors in cricket in America and outside America. Mr. Mangesh, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for inviting me, and this has been a big pleasure. Cricket in America is actually needs some sort of introduction, and everybody should be aware of it. So this is a great initiative by you guys. I congratulate you all.
Thank you, and we are so excited to have you here. We are looking forward to talking to you about the cricket scene in America and how we can develop it more in the future. How are you today? How has your day been like so far?
So far, so good. And in Houston, actually, it is a wet day. We are getting rain and a lot of cold weather. So
I hope you're staying warm indoors. We're going to dive into the questions about cricket now. I have a lot of
Mhm.
questions prepared for you, and I'm so excited to be talking to you. So how do you see the current scenario of cricket in America right now?
So currently, cricket is actually on the rise in America, mainly because of lots of different things that are happening in last 3, 4 years. So after COVID, actually, cricket in America started taking shape with Major League Cricket, Minor League Cricket, and some of the infrastructure development happened in the area of cricket, which includes the grounds and the stadiums and those kind of things. Plus, the biggest advantage we got in recent uh, I will say maybe 8 to 9 months is because USA cricket was actually playing in World Cup, which actually happened in US. So that actually put more eyeballs on us and cricket in general in USA. So things have been actually getting traction and getting really serious in US for cricket.
Especially in Texas, in the southern area of America, there is more cricket happening. The cricket scene is really growing, and as somebody who lives in New York, I'm a little bit of jealous about how the cricket is developing in the South. So, can you tell us about the cricket scene in Texas, especially Houston?
Yes. So cricket here has been always been played in most of the cities in US, but especially in the southern part, especially Houston, Dallas, and these areas, they are blessed with the good weather for most of the year. So cricket has been always, and plus the South Asian community is very big in this area. So because of that, actually, lot many teams and the players are playing cricket regularly in public parks, some private parks, those kind of things. So what happened was actually in back in 2018 we started developing Prairie View Cricket Complex. We bought this land and it was a private development. So we started building this Prairie View Cricket Complex with my partner Tanvir Ahmed, and we initially built like 4 grounds and then increased it to 6 grounds. So cricket is generally played on hybrid or concrete wicket in US because of lack of turf availability and the natural turf wickets availability and the cost associated with that one. But what we try to do at Prairie View Cricket Complex is develop natural turf wickets so that more and more people can play on them and improve their cricketing skills. That actually was a turning point for the cricket in the South region, especially in Texas region. And right after that, actually, we also developed some grounds and one stadium in Dallas area through Major League Cricket. That actually added a little bit more um, infrastructure in this area, which was actually helping cricketers come here, stay here, improve their skills, and basically become professional players. So that actually helped us in growing cricket in this area, and that's why Texas became the hub of cricket in US at this point. Now actually, few more cities are actually developing their turf wickets, especially even in New York. Actually, Albany, New York, there are some cricket grounds where they have turf wickets. Then Atlanta also has some turf wickets. So now things are actually changing in US, and there are more and more people who are willing to spend money and time for developing these grounds, which are very important for development of the game. So
That is very impressive how within the last couple of years, the development of infrastructure in cricket has been increasing, especially in the South, but also in other US cities around the country. And I'm so excited. I hope there are more grounds in New York being built in the future for our future emerging cricketers to practice in. Like you said, Prairie View Cricket Complex has six different grounds. So can you tell us about the activities that goes on in Prairie View, the daily coaching or international games you host? I remember the
Yes.
United States versus Bangladesh series that was held in your cricket complex. So could you tell us about the activities that happens in Prairie View?
Yes, so we utilize our grounds almost 10 months of the year. So there are lots of different activities that happen at the ground. Mostly kids, they typically come every week for their practices and everything. We host lots and lots of youth tournaments. They are basically bread and butter for the development of the cricket. Along with that, we also host college cricket, semi-pro tournaments, and some international team practicing there, or even major league teams practicing there, along with some international games. You mentioned a couple of international games we hosted. Actually, we hosted two series just before the World Cup. One was USA Canada five-match T20 series, and then another one was USA Bangladesh three-match series. During those series, actually, we put up some temporary infrastructure to host around 4,000 to 5,000 people. So those games were amazing. I mean, people turned out for these games, and Bangladesh series was sold out. So that was a really good support for cricket in this area, which actually increased the popularity of the game even in the American audience. So, and our grounds are very close to the highway, so even people from the highway, especially Americans who don't really know cricket, they also see these events and they typically come in. We don't charge any tickets or anything like that for most of these semi-pro events. Only for international games we charge tickets. So that also helps spreading the word and makes basically introducing cricket to the American audience.
And that is much needed in today's day and time where cricket is growing. And we want more and more people to be involved, more and more people to watch this beautiful game that we all love. And I also
Yes.
want to touch up on you told us about the practice sessions where kids come every week to practice. So, in at iCaptain Media, we all believe in the power of improving grassroots cricket and developing grassroots cricket to produce more future stars. And that's exactly what Prairie View Cricket Complex is doing right now. Every week the kids are coming getting trainings to become the future stars. And how do you see grassroots level cricket, and how are you planning to develop grassroots cricket more in the future through your cricket complex?
Yeah, so I'll just stick to the example of Houston at this point just to make sure that everybody gets a scale of it. So in Houston, actually, there are multiple academies throughout the Houston area. Houston is quite big, spread out city. Most of the American cities are like that. So there are pockets of South Asian community and some Commonwealth. They actually are spread across the entire city. So these people typically can't come during the weekday. They typically come on Thursday or Friday or Saturday and that kind of a thing. So what we do is typically we try to gather most of the academy students on Thursday and Friday and open the nets for them so that more and more people can come here and practice. And within last 3 4 years, actually the number of kids participating in the game increased at least by three times, which is significant number because currently just in Houston area we have more than 2,000 kids from age between 12 all the way up to under 19 playing cricket regularly. There are different leagues that are happening in different parts of the city, which are smaller leagues, but that basically gives them regular cricket on a daily basis, even if it is like a 10 over game or 20 over game or whatever it is. These are flexible games, but they just keep the kid engaged with the cricketing activity throughout the week. And then they come here over the weekend or just before the weekend to practice on turf wickets. So that is how the grassroots development has to happen because most of the cities are like that. So creating a central location for weekend games or where everybody can come in and sharpen their skills is one thing, but even with that only you can do so much. So you need to spread it out, create decentralized structure, and that's how the game will grow and the grassroots development will happen. So in order to create more interest into the kids, Even the school has to be cricket has to be introduced into the school system or even in the college system so that there is a clear pathway for the kid who is now 10-year or 11-year old to actually have some sort of a career in cricket.
Exactly, I completely agree with you. The development of a player has to go through the school level to college level so that they can enter the professional level by the time they're adults. So, with that, I want to talk more about the National College Cricket League that you guys are organizing in Prairie View Cricket Complex. So that way, not just the kids, but also students going to school and colleges can participate. So, can you tell us more about the competition?
Yes, so that was a very interesting one. So currently, what is happening overall is cricket has been played by mostly South Asian families, and because people like us who came from India or Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, all these cricket playing nations, they are well settled in US, and their kids are playing cricket mostly, and not necessarily the kid is introduced to cricket in their school and college, but introduced by the parents, right? So what happens is like, and our parents are mostly education oriented. So once the kid become 15, 16-year old, typically parents also ask the same question, like, what is the future in cricket? So previously they did not see any future before Major League Cricket or anything. So kids typically leave cricket and start picking up different games after the age of like 15, 16. That was a very big gap, what we saw. So what we decided with that is actually start a college program and start getting more and more people to continue cricket after that age. But in order to do that, actually, we wanted to create some sort of a non-profit entity. And then through that, we were trying to develop the game in college setup so that at least we can reach a level where we can start offering scholarship programs or something like that, which will actually benefit the kid and motivate them to continue cricket. So that's how the National College Association started. We started out with 8 universities. And currently, we have more than 60 plus universities part of our setup. And typically, we host two big major events. One is during the fall, which is a regional event where teams play regionally in 5 or 6 different locations throughout the country. And we typically host anywhere between 50 to 60 universities in that tournament. And then we host a national championship at Prairie View Cricket Complex, where we select top 30 universities to come and participate for the national championship. So this event from this year, we are actually trying to create a additional fund for the scholarship programs. That way, at least we can start giving out scholarship, at least 2 or 3 scholarships per year, and hopefully more and more people will join us and more and more people will help us because it's a non-profit anyway. These things will grow to a significant level where people will see cricket as a career even during the college.
That is an amazing initiative. So you are not only organizing and giving these college kids a platform to showcase their cricketing talent, but you're also planning to give scholarships to outstanding players to help them continue playing cricket and also attending their colleges and schools. So I love the idea and good luck to you and Prairie View Cricket Complex. This is an amazing, amazing platform for young cricketers out there. So iCaptain always believes in providing equal opportunity and developing grassroots level cricket and connecting players, resources, and tournaments. So if you are anybody in Texas area or anywhere in southern region, please, if you're interested in cricket, reach out to Prairie View Cricket Complex. They have training sessions. They also host tournaments, and it could be a great opportunity for you to improve your cricketing skills as well as to show your cricketing skills in front of other people in America. Also, Mangesh, we also want to talk about the cricketing community in Texas. Like you said, there are a lot of South Asian people, but not just South Asian people, the people from Commonwealth countries are also participating in these cricket tournaments. They are helping to create more opportunities in the cricket scene right now. So, how is the community like, especially in Houston, Texas?
So in Houston, actually, we are blessed with lots and lots of cricket loving community people. And typically during the any youth tournaments or even during the Bangladesh series, actually, what I will tell you one very interesting example. So during Bangladesh series, just before the series was supposed to start, 3 days before that series, actually, we got hit by a tornado and most of the infrastructure was completely blown away. And the entire community actually came together for the next day and they started cleaning it up. And then every one of the cricket community, parents, the coaches, even the kids, everybody was on the ground helping us out, and we made sure that the game continues. And we actually hosted the entire series without any delay or without any schedule change. And that was a very, very big task for all of us, and we are very proud of it. So we are really, really blessed by the cricket community in Houston, and they are always supportive. And during even youth tournaments and all, most of the parents, they will just come there for the entire weekend. They will help each other out. Even during bad weather, they will help us manage the grounds. Sometimes they will cook something there and feed everyone. That kind of it's more like a family environment actually, especially within the community.
And sports just has the power to bring people together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sports diplomacy has been used even by the big countries like India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all these countries, right? So sports definitely has that power to unite people, bring them together.
Yes, indeed. And when we look at the current United States men's and women's national team right now, there are not just players from South Asian descent, but there are players from the Commonwealth countries, from descents from all different types of the world. So I want to debunk the myth that players in America are just from South Asian countries. No, they're the kids that have the love for cricket. They come from all these different parts of ethnicities all over the world. So it's not just limited to South Asian community. It is open to everybody who loves this game.
Absolutely, absolutely. And cricket has been introduced by the Britishers, but actually spread by the Commonwealth countries like India and all other countries. Even the Australians and Britishers, they love this game so much, and now it is spread to almost 200 countries. So this game is truly a global game, and it is the second largest sports in the world, with the potential of um, developing to even become like, I will not say number one just because the soccer is too big to compete, but even in US, I mean, it can reach a respectable level where it can have its own league, a successful league, which will actually bring more revenue and more prospect.
Talking about the big scope of cricket that we are yet to explore in America, North America, all over the world. If you had to suggest an entrepreneur right now who wants to invest in cricket in North America, where would you suggest them to invest in, considering the current growing cricket scene?
So the main thing right now we are lacking is infrastructure. But every city is different. This country is so big that different areas will have different requirements. So anybody who wants to invest in cricket, they should definitely invest in infrastructure projects like indoor cricket nets, or even developing a local ground, or creating some sort of a practice areas and academies and those kind of things. Along with that, there are lots and lots of different tournaments that happen, not just the youth tournament, even the semi-pro and pro tournaments where pro players currently they are doing part-time job and playing cricket, but you can only reach to certain level with these kind of setups. So we need more and more entrepreneurs and people to support these players as well, financially as well, and start participating into different tournaments so that they can support these players and make sure that the players are practicing and developing regularly to actually make them better so that the overall USA national team becomes really, really strong and makes a mark in the international stage. So if anybody wants to develop and participate, they should definitely look into infrastructure projects and participating into youth academies and pro players.
Definitely. The development of cricket is only possible if there are enough infrastructures and resources for the players to practice and to better their game. So I request everybody who wants to invest in cricket, please, please invest for the future, invest in infrastructure so our players can practice better and they can bring out better results for the country. And also, I have a personal question for you, Mangesh. So, did you ever play cricket growing up?
Of course, I mean, I grew up in Mumbai, so we played cricket literally 5 to 6 hours every day. So, so we always wanted to. I mean, all of us, we always wanted to become like an international player for playing for India and all of that. So, everybody, while growing up, we used to play lots and lots of cricket. Unfortunately, once you become uh, once you become like that age of 17, 18, you realize, okay, education is much more important than playing cricket because in India at that time there was no IPL or nothing. So many of us actually decided to choose education over sports, and that's how the life turned out to be. But then when we came to US, we still wanted to do something in cricket and playing cricket and all of these things. All of a sudden, these opportunities started happening, and then now more and more people are actually making cricket as their part-time efforts, like people like me, and there are several other people in the country. They are actually giving more and more time to cricket because they wanted to do something in cricket. So those are the kind of things actually happening which are good for cricket.
And who was your idol growing up? I really want to know because you seem so motivated to develop cricket. You grew up playing cricket, and now as an adult, you still are trying your best to improve the cricket scene. So, what motivates you? Who's your motivation, your idol growing up?
It's just a passion for the game, simple as that. Because even now, cricket always gives you joy and that pride you carry with the game you love, right? So,
Mhm.
cricket always motivates me to actually do whatever we are doing right now, and it's just the love of the game. Yeah.
So, it just comes from the love you have for the gentleman's game, we say. And
Yes.
talking about cricket, so what do you think of the current national team in America right now, men's, women's? They seem to be doing really well on international stage compared to the previous years. We saw some amazing players from the women's team, from the men's team that are really shining on international stage.
Yes, and a lot to do with the Major League Cricket and Minor League Cricket. In recent years, many of these players who are currently playing for the national side are playing in these tournaments, which are actually hosting some international players also. So that actually helps them grow because when they are playing with the legends like Pat Cummins, Steve Smith, and even like South African players and Pakistani international players, they are actually improving their quality and performance as well, and that really helps the national team. So within last 2 3 years, whatever development and whatever things happen in cricket are actually helping the national team as well. And then there are some youngsters like Sai Teja, Ali Sheikh. These are born and raised in US. And with the advent of this minor league, major league, and all these different setups, we are getting access to more and more good quality coaches. And that is actually helping them grow the game very quickly. And because these are very young kids, they learn very fast and their bodies are developing still. So they pick up new skills every day. And that is actually helping the national side to actually create these kind of talented youngsters. They will actually carry the national team for next 5 10 years.
Definitely, with the improvement we have been seeing in the last couple of years, the growth has been tremendous. And it's like you said, Major League Cricket and Minor League Cricket. So when we talk about MLC, Major League Cricket, which was started in 2019, we saw international players from all these different big countries, from South Africa, from New Zealand, from England, Australia. They came to America, and the domestic players got the chance to play with these big stars. And it was definitely a good learning opportunity for these young players to develop under these big names. So I'm sure that helped our domestic players a lot to improve their skills, but it also helped American cricket get the attention, the international attention that it truly deserved. And now the whole world sees America as a growing hub for cricket because of these tournaments like MLC and minor league cricket. So, what is your thought? How can we improve minor league and major league cricket, and how can we make it even grander in the coming years?
So currently, minor league cricket has more than 24 teams, actually 25 to be exact. They are playing in different parts of the country, and they are kind of like a pathway tournament for Major League Cricket, which is a premium tournament, just like your IPL tournament. So Major League Cricket currently is hosted at Dallas Stadium and Morrisville. So those guys are also pumping lot of money into infrastructure projects and developing different stadiums for these different teams. So there are some projects happening in Seattle, Bay Area, LA, Washington, and New York, where they will develop some international level stadiums. So what will happen from now on is actually because the infrastructure projects are getting built through these big MLC teams, which actually has some co-owners from IPL side. So they have some deep pockets and they are actually giving back to the game. Those kind of things will actually help us growing more and more number of kids into the game, and that quantity of players will actually create more quality automatically. So within next 5 to 10 years, what we are expecting is um, having like at least 10,000 players playing cricket in each city of this country, and that will give us even bigger talents than what we have today for the national team, and that will make the national team much, much, much stronger.
And I'm very passionate about women's cricket, and I see that American women's national cricket team is doing really well right now in international states. So, can you tell us about women's cricket tournaments that are happening in America, especially in Texas, because we see Houston as a growing hub for women's cricket?
Yes, so there is actually significant progress made in women's cricket as well. So currently, if you talk about the numbers, if there are 100 men playing cricket, at least 25 to 30 women playing cricket in this country. So there is a significant portion of women cricketers in this country, and with the development of men's cricket, the women's cricket is also developing very nicely in last 2 3 years. There are lots of open tournaments and youth tournaments for women happening throughout the country. Major hubs are Bay Area, Houston, Dallas, St. Louis, Missouri, and New York and Florida. So there are lots and lots of areas are actually developing and working on women's cricket, and more young girls are actually becoming part of the academy setups. That is actually very, very positive sign because even though they are very young, like 11, 12, but more and more girls are actually participating in the game, which is a very good sign because the earlier they pick up the game, the better it will be for them to learn new skills. So that is a very positive sign. So women's cricket is developing. It is not at that level yet. There is a lot to improve, but they are on the right path and they are improving every day.
So, what can we do in America to promote women's cricket? I love women's cricket. I love watching women's cricket, and I want to know more about how we as fans and spectators can help support them, or people who want to invest, how can they support women's cricket and the growth in
I,
women's cricket?
I think the same thing applies to women's cricket as well. But at the same time, I think the another thing that everybody can do is basically support them on social media, support them, talk about them on your private channels or private social media handles or whatnot. That way, the more and more eyeballs will be on them because they recently played under 19 World Cup. Not many people talked about it. So the more you talk about these things, more you talk about these players, they will get motivated to actually play, and then they will also get bigger audience. The more eyeballs on the game, the more sponsors will come, the more development will happen, more and more people will invest into that particular setup. So giving them that platform and promoting them on whatever medium you want is actually very critical at this point. Because the men's cricket, they have their major league cricket and all those things where they will get some sort of attraction, but for the women's and girls cricket, they need that momentum.
Definitely, we have to support these brilliant women who are trying to make a name for them in this beautiful game of cricket, and we can definitely show our support in social media, and give them support. That way it's a motivation to them when they open their social media and they see all the love and support from all these fans. It will definitely be a big boost for them to do better. So I definitely agree with you. And coming back to Houston,
Hmm.
Houston Open is happening after a year. So what can we expect this year? So every year the teams are changing, the management of different teams are changing. So what's going to happen in Houston Open 2025?
So these are Houston Open and Atlanta Open, and these open tournaments have a very interesting setup. So they are not like your Major League Cricket or minor league cricket where the same teams come every time. Most of the teams are same, but we don't really expect the same teams to come all the time. These are opportunities for investors, like I told you about. So people are passionate about the game, and some every now and then there will be a new guy who would want to, like, own a team get that experience, support the local players, all that kind of thing. So these open tournaments are mainly for that. That's why there is lots and lots of dynamics. And because of that, actually, every time the team composition and everything will be so different that anybody can win the championship. So these dynamic things make the tournament very interesting. So you cannot actually predict beforehand what is going to happen in these kind of tournaments. So they are very interesting in that sense. This year, what we are trying to do with Houston Open is we are restricting number of teams because we want to focus more on quality than quantity. So what we are trying to do is we are only going to host 8 teams, but we are also going to do a draft system. So we actually the player registration is open at this point, and you can just go online on our Facebook handle and you can register, or you can go to Houston Open cricket.org and you can actually register there as a player. And then there will be a draft system so that the top 120 players will be participating in the tournament, because right after that there is a CWC series happening in US where USA will be playing against Namibia and few other players. So this tournament will be kind of like a practice game for the national team and under 19 national players. Along with that, some major league prospects and major league players will be participating in this one. So this will be more like a kick-off kind of a tournament for most of the players, and for the owners, this will be a very good incentive to actually feature and work with these professionals and basically create some sort of a long-term relationship with them where they can actually bring some of these professionals back to their cities and help the local kids grow with these players, playing with them or coaching them. So that is the concept with these open tournaments. These open tournaments are more like a symposium or 5 day kind of like a conferences where everybody comes from all over the country, stay there, brainstorm, play together, enjoy, and then go away.
Definitely. So it's like a good foundation to practice
Yes.
for the upcoming games like the Cricket World Cup, League Two series, all these different games that's happening in America. For you, Mangesh, I also want to ask you. So when you were young, you wanted to be a cricket player, but now that you're as an adult, you're in America and you are running Prairie View Cricket Complex, where national teams from different parts of the world come and practice. So you're giving them this platform, this ground to practice in, the infrastructure they need. So how do you see your involvement? It must be a very proud moment for you that you are actually building these infrastructures to help different teams develop.
Very proud of it, and also it actually gives me some sort of satisfaction that more and more kids are playing there, and we are contributing something to the game which we love so much. So it's a proud moment for me, to be very honest, and there is a lot to be done in this area. So more and more people need to be involved in this, and we hope more and more people join us and basically continue this momentum and create a sustainable model for cricket in this country. So we sincerely hope, like, more and more people join, and there is a lot to be done.
Definitely. And there's so much scope to just expand cricket in other different cities and all around America. So do you have any plans of expansion? Because in order for grassroots level cricket to develop, we need infrastructure, we need academies and grounds for these kids to practice in. So do you have any plans of expansion in the future?
Yes, so as I told you before, also there are more and more infrastructure projects are happening in this country, and more people are also joining, and that will create even the small cities, let's say a remote city in New Mexico or remote city in Arizona, they will also start seeing some development in upcoming years. It will create a good audience for game in this country. And now there are a few other things happening. Actually, cricket with this, again, I'm coming back to the MLC and national team and World Cup and all those things. They are actually getting more and more broadcasters on board. So that will also help us reach to the newer audience every day. And with the Olympic, hopefully more and more players will continue playing this game.
Yes, definitely. And we wish you all the best, and we wish all the different investors and planners the best to promote and grow cricket in America through infrastructures and all these resources that our grassroots level cricketers can use to become better players, to be the best version of themselves. Because without resources, without cricket grounds, without these infrastructures, it is very difficult for them. And it is our duty to make sure that they have the right resources to become the best players they can. So it's really commendable what Prairie Cricket Complex is doing right now, and these different tournaments like Houston Open, MILC, MLC is definitely bringing talents and developing them under guidance of international coaches, international players. So it's going to be very helpful in development of cricket in America. What do you think of the iCaptain app? I know you've been through some features of the app, so I want to hear from you.
So yeah, so your app is really really good in that sense, and we are gonna actually implement that, use that app during Houston Open as well, and we are gonna make sure that everybody is aware of it because we really love this app. There are some features in your app which are very very important for people like me who are managing cricket. At the same time, there are some features related to players and players' profile and those things which actually will help the players also showcase their profile to wider audience through your app. So your app is doing fantastic job in that sense, and we would like to support iCaptain um, wholeheartedly, and we will be helping you out and using it regularly. And I really like the features for the league management and league administration. That is actually making our life much, much easier because currently we are chasing all the players to submit our forms and Google documents and everything. You guys are made it so easy for us to do it at one location. It is really helping us big time. So thank you so much for that, and we will definitely continue and recommend your app to everyone.
Thank you. And we are very grateful to Prairie View Cricket Complex that you have tied up with iCaptain Media and agreed to use our resources, because that's a huge motivation for us to keep improving our app and keep adding new features that's going to help cricket management in general. So thank you very much, Mr. Mangesh.
Thank you so much, and I really want to thank you
Thank
guys
you.
and congratulate you on your this new endeavor and all the best for the future. Great job.
Thank you very much. That's the end of the podcast. Thank you for your time. I'm very grateful. And it's very nice
Thank you.
connecting with you too. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This was our episode 2 of Beyond the Boundaries podcast. Hope you guys got a lot of insights and information on the current situation of cricket in America and also the scope of growth of cricket in America. Please stay tuned for more episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.